What's good, everybody? Back again with another guide video that I think you guys will find really helpful. So the First Descendant has been out for almost 2 weeks now, and I'm pretty sure most of us have progressed through the campaign and have finally reached the end game. In this video, we're going to go over 5 tips that you need to know that will help you get stronger for the end game in First Descendant. The first tip revolves around increasing the module capacity limit for your Descendant and or weapon. We're not going to get too deep into this topic in this video, but let's quickly go over what modules are. Simply put, modules come in 2 different categories: weapon modules and descendant modules. Each of these modules can increase the performance of your weapon and or descendant by adding different effects that you see fit, or things that you would need basically. There are 4 different rarities for modules, and each of these modules can be upgraded to a certain amount. By default, each module has a set capacity that it takes up. The more you upgrade these modules, the more storage or capacity that it's going to take up. Hence why this first tip really comes in handy as you're trying to get stronger. So let's take Bunny for example. As you can see, I don't play her, but let's just pretend she's at level 40. Currently, 99% of my module capacity is being used, 54 out of 55. But I see this cool module that I want to equip, MP conversion down there, but I don't want to get rid of my current modules. This is where that energy activator will really come into play. This thing will increase your Descendant's max capacity by 20 and your weapon's max capacity by 30. That is a big number. That means that I could equip however many more modules or max out the current ones that I already have equipped. Some important things to note about the energy activator. You will get 2 for completing the story and as you hit level 40, so be wary about how you use this. You will want to use this item only on your main Descendant and your main weapon. For me, I used it on Leopard because that's my main Descendant, and I used it on the Thunder Cage because that's a weapon that I currently main as well. Lastly, currently you can only use energy activators once per Descendant and once per weapon. So let's move on to tip number 2. During our module discussion, you may have noticed that some of the module sockets have a green number above it. If you did, good eye. If you didn't, wake up, bro.
Wake up, bitch! Shut your ass up!
What does this number mean and what the heck does it do? So let's unequip that skill for now. Notice how this socket type has a shuriken type icon on it. So let's equip another module with that same icon, and notice how that number originally was 6, it goes down to 3. So this is the power of the module socket type. So if we go into our module additional settings and assign module socket type, you can see here that Bunny or Descendants in general have a predefined socket type already defined. Something good to note here is that standard Descendants have 2 predefined module socket types, whereas ultimate Descendants have 4. The process of adding a new module socket type is crystallization, or as I like to call it, prestiging. Once you prestige, it'll reset your level to level 1, and you will also lose some capacity space while you level back up to level 40. You have to be level 40 in order to enable this process on your Descendant, and if you're doing it on your weapon, you have to have a weapon level proficiency of level 40 as well. Again, once you do this, it'll reset you to level 1 and you have to grind back up to 40. But the benefit from this is you get another socket type that'll cut basically your capacity storage in half, or whatever socket that you're putting in there. So like we saw earlier, that green shuriken skill was half from 6 to 3. It'll do the same with the more socket types that you add. So moving on to tip number 3, we're going to our friendly workbench. This is weapon level transmission. A lot of you probably already know how to do this, but for those who don't, it's the process of increasing your weapon level to match a weapon that you're sacrificing. So you're going to need the weapon that you want to increase. In our case, I'm doing the Albion Cavalry Gun, and I'm trying to sacrifice a level 100. So doing this will bring my Albion Cavalry Gun from level 66 to level 100. It'll come with a stat increase and rounds per magazine increase. I want you to take note of the skills that I have on the gun currently. So after we do this process, the gun is going to go from level 66 to 100, and the sacrificial weapon is removed from the inventory. So notice how my skills are now grayed out. This doesn't mean that your skills are inactive or anything. It just means that it's letting you know your skills are severely under leveled for the current level of the gun that you have. So in my case, my level 100 Albion Cavalry Gun, my skills that were originally for 66 no longer really work for this gun. So we're going to have to go through a process of re-rolling or readjusting the weapon. So in our case, we're going to stay at the workbench. We're just going to go to a different menu option, weapon readjustment. In this case, we're going to choose the Albion Cavalry Gun. And like we saw earlier, 3 of our skills are grayed out. So again, these skills are still active, they're just severely under leveled. So let's go ahead and readjust those to get some new skills. Now notice how we got new skills and they're no longer grayed out. That means that these skills are more in line with the current weapon level that we have. So whenever you see your gray skills, that means you need to readjust your weapon. Go to the workbench and do this so that you can get some good skills for your weapon level. All right, this brings us into tip number 4. Did you know that you can fuse your ultimate weapons together to increase the stats of your current one? If not, I'm about to go over that with you. So in this case, we have a Thunder Cage fresh off the press, like some J's, fresh off the shelf. So we're going to run back to our neighborhood workbench and we're going to select Enhance Unique Ability. To do this, you have to have 2 of the same weapon, ultimate weapons only. So in our case, we have 2 Thunder Cages, so we can put them together. Basically smashing 2 rocks together. So notice how the stat increases. Reload time decreases, which is a good thing. Trigger rate increases and our damage range increases. So we're going to go ahead and enhance. And notice that I've already done this twice. You can do this 4 times with your ultimate weapon. So you have to go back, farm up the materials, and craft the ultimate weapon again to do this. Until you reach 4 at least. So in our case, we're about to be at 3. So that means I would have to do 1 more to max out the Thunder Cage ability. So go ahead and click Enhance. And it's going to let you know, like, all right, you're overcharged with enhanced. The stats were applied. And you can see that yellow bar has gone up 1 notch. By the time you complete the campaign, you should have 2 Thunder Cages to test this mechanic out with. If not, make sure you go talk to the robot and he'll give you a free one. All right, moving on to our last tip. Back at the workbench we are. You go all the way down to the bottom and you click Reactor Enhancement. Yes, you can increase your reactor power. The max that you can do this is twice. And definitely any type of skill power increase that you can get is always beneficial. More skill power, more damage. So always take advantage of it. Of course, you're going to need the required materials, but that's a small sacrifice to get a little bit more power for your character. For those of you that can take some more tip.
What do you mean by that?
I got you. Here's a bonus one. This won't necessarily get you stronger, but it's definitely very nice to know. So if you go visit my boy Cillion in Albion, that's a bar by the way.
What? But I'm not a rapper.
You can go through and dismantle your modules and you can select all of your duplicate modules. So all of the duplicates that you get while you're farming up, which will clutter up your inventory, you can dismantle those for some free Kuiper shards. If you're down bad all the time on Kuiper like me, it's a good way to do it. Just saying, just throwing it out there. All right, so there you have it. Some quick tips on First Descendant, how to improve in the end game and get stronger. Let me know if I misexplained something or if you need a little bit more detail. I have more videos on basics and all that stuff coming up soon, so I think it'll really help you guys understand the basics and get the gist of the mechanics if you don't already understand. As always, I appreciate everybody liking and subscribing. If you haven't already, hit the sub button. It is free. We are almost at 300 at the time of this video. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on, y'all. But hey, I appreciate y'all as always. If you ever want to hop into games with me, come into the YouTube stream or the Twitch stream. I play with all my viewers, so let's go ahead and get it in. Till next time, y'all. Peace out.